Chosen one, still your heart for a moment. This is not an accident. You were meant to hear this message right now. In this exact second, heaven has leaned close to whisper into your spirit, because there is a door you have been trying to open, and it will not move. You've prayed, cried, begged, and knocked, yet nothing has shifted. But this is not rejection. This is protection. You are standing before a door that God Himself has sealed shut, not to hurt you, but to hold you back from harm. You see, when you belong to God, not every opportunity is a blessing. Some doors shimmer like gold, but hide a trap beneath. Some invitations sparkle like destiny, but carry distraction within. And so, in His mercy, heaven steps in and blocks your way, not because you've done something wrong, but because you are too important to let wander into what would destroy you. It hurts, doesn't it, to watch something you thought was meant for you slip through your fingers. You tell yourself, maybe if I try harder, maybe if I pray longer, but the handle still won't turn. What if? Chosen one. That door is not locked by the enemy, but sealed by your Father's hand. What if that no is actually the sound of God saying, I love you too much to let you settle for less? You've spent nights asking heaven why. Why the silence? Why the delays? Why the unanswered prayers? But silence is not absence. Heaven's quiet is often its deepest form of speech. When God goes silent, it is not because He is far, it's because He is near, arranging what you cannot yet see. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 9, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than yours. Those ancient words still thunder over your life. You see the moment, but God sees the map. You see one door, but God sees the destination. You feel delay, but heaven see divine direction. You have been asking for an open door when heaven has been preparing you for a better one. So don't curse the closed door. Praise the God who loved you enough to close it. Because if He let you walk through every door you desired, you would have wandered far from your destiny. You don't see it now, but someday you will look back and whisper, thank you, Lord, for blocking that door. Every closed door is a teacher. It humbles you. It refines you. It shows you the difference between your timing and God's timing. You are learning to trust what you cannot trace. You are learning to wait, not with worry, but with worship. Because when heaven says, not yet, it is never, never. The closed door is not the end of your story. It's the setup for your next chapter. This is the season where God proves that your faith was not in the outcome, but in His character. The same God who parted the Red Sea can part the silence surrounding your situation. But first, He must teach you to stand still. Chosen one. Stop trying to kick down what God has locked. Stop praying for Him to open what He already said no to. If you force it, you'll only end up fighting the very protection that was sent to save you. The hand that closed that door is the same hand that will open the next one at the right time. Listen, your spirit already knows this truth. That's why there's a strange peace hiding beneath your disappointment. That peace is heaven's signature. It's how you know the closure was divine. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and take a deep breath. You are not forgotten. You are favored. God's delays are not denials. They are divine pauses for preparation. You are being hidden until it's safe to be seen. If this message resonates in your spirit, if something deep inside you says, "This word is for me," then let heaven hear your agreement. Type 77 inches, the comments below, as your act of faith. It means, "I trust His timing." And before you leave this moment, like, share, and subscribe, not out of routine, but out of obedience. Every share is a seed of hope. Every like is a whisper to heaven that says, "I'm ready to stop forcing and start trusting." And God blocked that door. Chosen one, not because you were unworthy, but because you were destined for something greater. One day, when the right door opens effortlessly, you'll understand why the wrong one had to stay shut. There are moments, chosen one, when heaven goes quiet. You pray, but there is no echo. You fast, but the heavens feel sealed. You search for signs, yet everything seems still. It's in that silence that your faith is most tested, not when the miracles happen, but when nothing moves. The silence isn't punishment, it's purification. God is teaching you to discern His whisper beyond the noise. You've cried, "Lord, why aren't you speaking?" But what if He already did, and now He's waiting for you to obey the last instruction? The silence of God often means He's working in secret. It means the blueprint is being written, but you are not yet meant to read it. The teacher is always silent during the test, not because he is absent, but because He has already equipped you to pass. When heaven goes quiet, your fears grow loud. You start to wonder if you've done something wrong. But chosen one, hear this clearly. God's silence is not His rejection. It's the sacred space where He builds your trust. He's not ignoring you. He's protecting you from premature movement. You are in a divine holding pattern, suspended between what was and what will be. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, "Be still and know that I am God." Those words are more than comfort, they are command. Be still is not a suggestion, it's an invitation to surrender. God's stillness isn't emptiness, it's intimacy. In that quiet, He molds your heart into something unshakable. You begin to realize that faith isn't proven by noise or activity, it's proven by peace. When you can't hear His voice, trust His character. The same God who spoke to you in light is still guiding you in the dark. The same hands that opened doors before are still holding the key to your next chapter. Silence is the sound of trust being born. Sometimes, God delays His answer because the noise of your panic would drown out His direction. He waits until your soul quiets enough to truly listen. You can't hear a whisper in a storm, but once the wind's still, the whisper becomes clear. The Spirit does not compete with chaos. He speaks to calm hearts. In the stillness, your perspective shifts. You stop demanding explanations and start desiring revelation. You stop asking, "Why me?" and begin whispering, "Teach me." That's when maturity begins, when you realize the silence was never a void, but a voice. Heaven's quiet is often the backdrop for its greatest movements. When you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. The delay is not the denial, it's the divine pause between sowing and harvest. Think of it. Chosen one, seeds do not sprout under spotlight. They grow in darkness, hidden, silent, unseen. Yet, beneath the soil, Life is breaking forth. That's what's happening in your spirit. God has planted promises in you, and the silence is the soil where they grow. If he spoke too soon, you would dig up what he's trying to root. Do not mistake the stillness for stagnation. Even when you hear nothing, heaven is in motion. Angels are being dispatched. Details are aligning. Hearts are being prepared. God's timing is a symphony. Every note matters. If one plays too early, the song loses its power. So he waits until every note of your destiny is perfectly tuned. You will look back and realize that the silence was holy, that in those wordless nights, heaven was whispering, "Trust me, I'm still here." It's in the quiet that your spiritual senses sharpen. The less you hear with your ears, the more you learn to listen with your spirit. Do not rush the silence. Chosen one, let it do its work. The stillness is not empty, it's pregnant with purpose. The longer the quiet, the greater the reveal, because one day soon, the voice that seemed far will break through again. The same God who whispered the world into existence will speak into your waiting, and everything will shift. The silence will make sense. You will realize it wasn't that God stopped speaking, it's that he was teaching you to hear differently. So sit in this sacred quiet. Rest in the stillness. The silence is not your enemy, it is your escort to deeper faith. When all else fades, his presence remains. Chosen one, there are seasons when you push with all your strength, but heaven resists you. You knock until your knuckles ache, but the door doesn't budge. You pour your effort, your faith, your emotion into something that refuses to open, and you start to wonder if you're under attack. But what if this isn't the enemy stopping you? What if this is God himself saying, "Not that way"? Not. The divine blockade is real. It is heaven's way of saving you from self-destruction. When you walk too close to something that threatens your purpose, the Spirit intervenes. You'll feel tension, resistance, disruption, because God's love won't let you wander into ruin. You may call it rejection, but heaven calls it redirection. There are times when God must interrupt your plans to preserve your destiny. You prayed for an open door, but God saw what was on the other side. You saw opportunity, he saw danger. You saw comfort, he saw compromise. So he stood in front of that door, blocking your way, saying, "I will not let you destroy what I am building inside you." And you may not understand it now, but one day you will thank him for every unanswered prayer that was really a hidden rescue. You'll thank him for every roadblock that became a bridge to something better. Heaven does not waste resistance. It uses it to guide the righteous. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 9, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." And those words are not gentle poetry, they are a warning and a promise. You can plan, but only God can see the full map. You can desire, but only he knows what leads to peace. Every divine blockade is a mercy disguised as disappointment. Think about it. How many times did you force something only to watch it crumble later? That's because it wasn't blessed. It was tolerated. God's protection is often hidden in frustration. He shuts what you were never meant to sustain. Sometimes he even lets a door open just enough to test your discernment. You step toward it, and suddenly it slams shut again. That's not cruelty, it's correction. He's teaching you how to recognize when his presence has left a path You are learning the difference between a good thing and a God thing. The more anointed you become, the stricter heaven's boundaries grow. Ordinary people can chase anything, but chosen ones cannot. You are set apart, and that means some opportunities are off limits, even if they look holy. Some people are off limits, even if they sound sincere. Some offers are off limits, even if they appear divine. God's blockade is not rejection, it's filtration. He's filtering out distractions, lies, and counterfeit alignments that could destroy what He placed inside you. You are being refined like gold, and gold does not argue with the fire. So the next time a door refuses to open, pause before you panic. Ask yourself, what is heaven protecting me from? Because what feels like resistance may actually be redemption. God is not punishing you. He is preventing something that would have poisoned your purpose. There is a holy confidence that grows inside of you when you start to trust closed doors. You stop chasing, and you start discerning. You stop forcing, and you start flowing. You begin to realize that if God didn't open it, you don't need it. And one day, when the right door opens without effort, without striving, you'll understand why the wrong one never moved. It wasn't because you were unworthy. It was because you were chosen for something higher. So today, instead of asking, why won't it open? Thank God that He closed it. Thank Him that His hands are stronger than your will. Thank Him that His plan is wiser than your desire. Chosen one, this moment is sacred. Heaven wants your surrender more than your striving. You do not need to fight divine resistance. Yield to it, and you will find rest. Now, take this moment and affirm your trust. Type, I trust you, in the comments. Say it not just with your fingers, but with your spirit. When you write those words, you declare that your faith is stronger than your frustration. You remind the heavens and the darkness alike that you will not break under delay. You will wait for God's way, not force your own. Every blocked door is a prophecy of greater things coming. Let the blockade bless you. Let it teach you. Let it lead you home. Chosen one, there is a wisdom in heaven that looks like contradiction on earth. People may see your closed doors and call them failures, but heaven calls them protection. Every divine no you faced has been a confirmation that you are still under supervision from above. God's closed doors are not evidence of abandonment, they are proof of involvement. He is not ignoring you, He is guarding the map of your destiny. The problem is that human hearts crave answers more than alignment. We want to know why something didn't work, why someone walked away, why a season ended before it seemed complete. Yet God's love rarely explains itself. His silence is not indifference, it is divine strategy. There are things you are not meant to understand yet, because understanding them too soon would alter your obedience. You see, chosen one, heaven has a closed-door policy. Not every path that appears good leads to glory. Not every opportunity that glitters carries grace. God will close doors that don't match your anointing, even if they seem perfect from your point of view. It's not because He wants to limit you, it's because He wants to protect what He's building through you. You may think the door is blocked because you didn't pray enough or believe enough. But the truth is far more beautiful. Sometimes the door closes because heaven is making room for something higher. You were never meant to live within the limits of human timing. God is orchestrating movements that your eyes can't see. Behind the closed door, He is shifting people, preparing places, and aligning moments to meet your obedience. We often forget that his favor doesn't always feel comfortable. To be chosen means to be separated, and separation always hurts. You may feel left out, overlooked, or misunderstood, but that isolation is divine insulation. God places you behind certain walls so that you won't be contaminated by the wrong influences before your assignment is complete. As the Spirit recorded through the psalmist in Psalm chapter 84, verse 11, "No good thing does he withhold from those whose walk is blameless." Those words hold the secret to peace in the face of divine redirection. If he withholds, it is not cruelty, it is kindness in disguise. His no is as sacred as his yes. Every withheld opportunity is a shield against distraction. Every denied request, a doorway to deeper faith. There are doors God never intends to open because they do not lead to your destiny, they lead to delay. Some relationships, some positions, some platforms, if you entered them now, they would pull you away from purpose. And so, heaven intervenes. You feel the resistance. But that resistance is grace wearing armor. You may not always see it. But closed doors are signs of favor. The more valuable the vessel, the tighter the seal. God does not leave his treasures unguarded. When you feel blocked, it's often because heaven is hiding you for refinement. Closed doors are part of your consecration process. They keep your heart aligned with divine purpose and your focus anchored in faith. In time, you will learn to thank him not only for the blessings he gave, but for the ones he withheld. Because if he had granted every prayer, you would have settled for lesser things. Closed doors protect your portion. They preserve the purity of your calling. Remember this: when one door closes, it does not mean your path has ended. It means your direction has been divinely altered. God doesn't cancel destiny, he recalibrates it. Every time a door shuts, heaven whispers, "Trust me, I am still leading." End of peace. You may not understand the route, but you can trust the guide. The same hand that sealed that door will open another at the right moment, one that fits the shape of your calling perfectly. There will be no striving, no confusion, no anxiety, only peace. Because what God ordains, he also sustains. So rest in his closed door policy. Chosen one, stop mourning what you lost and start rejoicing over what was prevented. One day, you'll look back and realize that every door that stayed shut was a brick in the foundation of your future. Heaven never wastes a closed opportunity. Until then, walk faithfully where you are. Keep your heart clean. Keep your trust steady. The path may twist, but it will never betray you. God's guidance may feel like denial, but it's always direction. And when the right moment comes, the door meant for, you will open with ease because heaven never misplaces a key. Chosen one, your heart has been aching for what's behind that door. The door that would not open, the dream that slipped away, the person who left without explanation. You keep replaying the moments in your mind, trying to understand what went wrong, wondering if you could have done something differently. But heaven whispers softly, it wasn't supposed to stay. And letting go is never easy. It feels like tearing a piece of yourself away. But what if what you're trying to hold on to was never part of your destiny in the first place? What if that closed door was not punishment, but protection disguised as pain? God sometimes allows heartbreaks not to destroy you, but to deliver you from something that would have quietly undone your spirit. You've been walking through a season of pruning, It's like a gardener cutting branches that once bore fruit. At first, the pruning feels cruel. Why cut what once flourished? But the gardener knows something you don't, that those branches were draining strength from the roots. The cut isn't death. It's preparation for a richer bloom. The pain you feel is proof that God still sees value in you, worth refining. We are reminded through the writings of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 18. Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. You see, when God closes a door, He also closes a season. Some people were only assigned to your journey, not your destination. You outgrew environments that could no longer hold your growth. You are evolving, and not everyone can breathe at the altitude of your calling. When you try to drag old connections into new seasons, you suffocate your own progress. The pain of letting go is sacred. It teaches you to love without attachment, to hope without illusion, and to trust without needing control. It's the training ground for true faith. When you release what God has removed, you give Him permission to fill the empty space with something better. Chosen one. Think of a cocoon. To the caterpillar, it feels like confinement, darkness, and loss. But inside that stillness, transformation takes place. Wings are being formed where there were none. Beauty is emerging from brokenness. That's what's happening to you. You are shedding the shell of what was to step into what is becoming. The closure was the cocoon. The release will be your flight. It's okay to grieve the door that closed. God isn't asking you to pretend the pain doesn't exist. He's asking you to trust that there's meaning in it. He's asking you to believe that what you lost was necessary to make room for what you're about to gain. And as you listen to this, maybe something inside you trembles because you know exactly which door He's talking about. You've been holding on out of fear that letting go means failure. But, beloved, it doesn't. It means faith. It means you trust that the one who took it away is also powerful enough to replace it with something infinitely better. So breathe. Loosen your grip. Say quietly, Lord, I release what was never mine to keep. Heaven hears that whisper as worship. If this word is stirring something inside you, if you can feel the healing beginning where the pain used to live, then I want to speak to your heart as family. Messages like this are not entertainment. They are encounters. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not just clicking a button. You are building an altar of light in the digital world. You are helping someone else who is standing in the dark, staring at their own closed door, to hear that same whisper of hope. And if this message has been a lifeline to you, if it has watered your soul when you felt dry, consider sowing back into this flow. Even the smallest donation is not a transaction, it's a seed of gratitude. It's like placing a single stone in a river that keeps the current moving forward. Every seed, every share, every prayer keeps this light burning for others who are still finding their way home. Your act of giving, whether through your support, your sharing, or your prayer, becomes part of the divine chain that lifts others up. You are not just receiving, you are now becoming the vessel through which hope travels. So if you feel led, respond, not out of pressure, but out of purpose. Like a lighthouse, you can keep this flame shining for those lost in the fog of confusion. Heaven keeps record of every hand that helps light the way. You are not letting go into emptiness, you are letting go into God's arms. And in those arms, nothing truly good is ever lost. Every closed door, every painful goodbye, is preparing you for a new entrance, a divine unveiling that will make every tear worth it. Hold your peace. Beloved, the gardener is still pruning, the cocoon is still forming, but soon, so soon, the wings will unfold. Chosen one, when God redirects your path, it rarely feels comfortable. You thought you were moving toward breakthrough, but suddenly the road curved into uncertainty. What once made sense now feels like chaos. You keep asking, why am I here? Why did it change? Why did he lead me this far? Only to take me a different way. But that's how divine redirection works. It looks like delay from your view, but from heaven's view, it's precision. God never wastes detours. Every twist and turn has been calculated by his wisdom. The road you didn't plan is often the one that leads to the destiny you've been praying for. The wilderness isn't punishment, it's preparation. God led his people through the desert, not to confuse them, but to cleanse them. You, too, are being guided through a divine reroute, a journey that doesn't make sense to your logic, but is deeply aligned with your purpose. The same fire that feels uncomfortable now is the very flame shaping you into who you are called to be. In the beginning, it feels like loss, but look closer, and you'll see something sacred, the hand of God rearranging your story to match his promise. What felt like abandonment was actually an upgrade in disguise. The door he closed wasn't a dead end, it was a redirection towards something far greater. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. No, that is not merely a promise, it is a spiritual map. The word direct means to make straight, to align what has become crooked. When your heart acknowledges him in every turn, he straightens what confusion tried to twist. Every detour becomes divine direction. You might feel like you've been walking in circles, but heaven knows exactly where you are. You're not lost, you're being led. You're not behind, you're being aligned. Sometimes God has to reroute you so he can reveal to you what you would have missed if the road had stayed easy. You thought the delay was a denial, but it was protection from premature success. Sometimes you're not ready for what you've prayed for. God isn't saying no, he's saying not yet. There's a difference, and if you trust him long enough, you'll see that every delay was working in your favor. The wilderness is where clarity is born. It strips away the noise of what you thought you needed and teaches you to depend on the one who truly sustains you. In the silence of redirection, your roots grow deeper. You stop chasing signs and start recognizing the shepherd's voice. Chosen one. Redirection is not random. The same God who rerouted Joseph from the pit to the palace, who rerouted Ruth from loss to legacy, who rerouted Moses from the palace to the desert, he is the same God, redirecting you now. The path may feel lonely, but it is holy. Do you remember the times you forced open doors that led to pain? Now heaven is guiding you to walk by faith instead of frustration. When you learn to follow the peace instead of the pressure, you'll stop fearing closed doors. You'll start thanking them. The wilderness may not have walls, but it has direction. You are being trained to move not by sight, but by spirit. Every twist is teaching you something that comfort never could. Your patience is being strengthened. Your discernment is being sharpened. The delay is molding you into the person who can handle the blessing. Soon, you'll see why it had to happen this way. You'll look back and realize that the reroute was not random, it was redemption. Every step you thought was wasted will become part of your testimony. You will stand at the destination God promised and whisper, "Now I understand." But for now, keep walking. Don't look back in regret or forward in fear. Walk by faith in the moment He has given you. Every step taken in trust is a step closer to revelation. And if this word resonates with your spirit, if you can feel in your heart that this wilderness you're in is not punishment but preparation, then mark this moment. Type 555 inches, the comments below. That number is your prophetic declaration, a sign of grace, guidance, and divine transition. It symbolizes change that comes from heaven's direction. When you write that number, you're saying, "Lord, I trust the detour. I trust the redirection. I will not panic while you prepare my promise." Then, you're not lost. Chosen one, you're being led by design. The detour is your destiny disguised. Keep walking. The path that feels uncertain today will soon become the proof that God never abandoned you. He only changed your route so He could protect your purpose. Chosen one. There are times when heaven's answer is not a whisper, but a thunderous no. It shakes your plans, shatters your expectations, and silences your confidence. You were sure that this time it would work, that this time the door would open, that this time the promise would finally unfold. But then came the divine interruption, a holy refusal. You prayed with sincerity. You waited with faith. But still, the answer was no. It's hard to see mercy in that kind of moment. Your heart wants to label it rejection. Your mind calls it failure. But your spirit knows God's no is not cruelty. It is calibration. He sees what you cannot. He knows the danger wrapped inside what looks desirable. You see, when God says no loudly, it's because the enemy was whispering yes quietly. Temptation often dresses itself as opportunity, and heaven must speak firmly to protect what you carry. The louder the denial, the greater the danger behind the desire. In the stillness after the no, you are being refined. God uses that denial to reveal what still holds power over your heart. Were you seeking His will or your way? Were you chasing His purpose or your comfort? His no exposes your motives and purifies your devotion. It turns your faith from convenience into conviction. The Apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Those words hold the mystery of divine restraint. God's grace is not merely a comfort, it is a boundary. It stands between you and destruction. When He says no, He's not limiting you, He's sustaining you. He's holding you in the tension of His timing, shaping your character to match your calling. You may be weeping now, but heaven counts every tear as evidence of transformation. God does not waste pain. He does not waste delay. Every no is a classroom where faith is taught and pride is silenced. There is a sacred weight to divine denial. It forces you to depend again, to pray deeper, to listen longer, to wait without complaining. It is in these moments that the true nature of surrender is revealed, not when you get what you asked for, but when you still worship even after you don't. Chosen one. Think back to the doors you once begged God to open. Some of them would have led to heartbreak you could not have survived. Some of them would have trapped your destiny in smallness. Now that you stand further down the path, can you see his mercy in the things he denied? This is what love looks like from heaven's view. A father who loves you enough to disappoint you temporarily, to protect you eternally. The no you resent today may be the reason you are alive tomorrow. God's loud refusals are not rejection, they are rescue. He intervenes not only in what you do, but in what you desire, because when you belong to him, even your dreams are subject to divine inspection. He will close every door that could corrupt your character. The no is not the end of your story, it's the realignment of it. Every refusal redirects you toward a revelation. Every unanswered prayer pulls you closer to his presence. When heaven says no, it is creating space for a better yes. No. So don't let the denial make you bitter. Let it make you discerning. Don't mourn the door that closed. Thank the God who shut it. His no may have saved you from years of regret. His silence may have been the wall that kept you from falling. When you feel the weight of his refusal, remember, you are not being punished. You are being pruned. The branches that bear fruit must be trimmed so they can grow stronger. Every no is a cut of love, a holy hand shaping the tree of your destiny. The day will come when you'll look back and see the pattern, how every rejection became redirection, how every denial became deliverance. You'll see that the hand that blocked you was the same hand that blessed you. Until then, walk with quiet confidence. You do not need to understand his plan to trust his heart. If he said no, it means the ground ahead is not yet ready, or the fruit you wanted was not meant for this season. God's no is not the absence of goodness, it is the assurance of it. He withholds only to heal. He denies only to deliver. You are not being kept from something, you are being kept for something. So breathe deeply. Chosen one. Let peace replace pressure. Let gratitude silence your questions. The no you heard from heaven was not a wall, it was a shield. And that shield, though invisible, has been saving you all along. Chosen one. Not every door that glitters with promise is safe to enter. Sometimes, what looks like an opportunity is a setup. What feels like a blessing can, in truth, be bait. You've stared at a door that seemed perfect, timely, désirable, everything you prayed for, and yet, for some reason, something in your spirit would not settle. That hesitation, that whisper of unease, was heaven's warning system at work. You are not paranoid, you are protected. God has given you a spiritual radar that senses what your natural eyes cannot see. When he blocks a door, he's not being cruel, he's shielding you from unseen danger. You cannot always perceive the schemes being woven behind your back, the traps camouflaged as chances, the false lights designed to distract you from your true path. The darkness studies your desires. It knows what looks appealing to you. And so, it crafts counterfeit doors that shine, but lead only into shadow. You must learn to discern the difference between divine timing and demonic temptation. The enemy's favorite tactic is imitation. He mimics God's blessings to lure God's chosen away from purpose. He will send people who speak your language but do not carry your spirit. He will offer positions, promises, and relationships that look like answers but carry spiritual infection. And because you are chosen, you cannot afford to be naive. We are reminded through the writings of David in Psalm chapter 91, verse 4, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. And that verse is not a poetic comfort. It is a divine guarantee. It means that even when you walk into places where danger hides behind beauty, heaven covers you. God's wings stretch over your destiny like armor made of light. His faithfulness surrounds you like an invisible wall, repelling every disguised weapon that comes against your soul. There are blessings that would have broken you if you had received them too soon. There are people who would have drained your purpose if you had embraced them too quickly. What feels like rejection now will one day look like divine rescue. Sometimes the door you were begging God to open was attached to an unseen pit just beyond it. You would have walked through smiling, unaware that your peace would vanish the moment you stepped inside. But heaven saw it. Heaven intercepted it. Heaven said, "No." Oh, God doesn't always reveal the full reason for his protection, because if he did, your heart might not handle it. He shields you not only from danger, but from the knowledge of how close it came. His mercy operates in silence, protecting you from the plots that never reached you. Think of Joseph, sold by his brothers, imprisoned unjustly, misunderstood by many, yet all along, God's hidden hand was redirecting him. What looked like misfortune was, in truth, the mercy of prevention. Had Joseph stayed in his comfort, he would have died in anonymity, but the betrayal that broke him became the bridge that carried him to purpose. Chosen one. Your story is no different. The betrayals, the disappointments, the sudden endings, they were not random. They were holy interruptions. God removed access to what would have harmed you. You may never see the full picture of what he blocked, but you can trust that it was for your good. Heaven's protection is not always visible. Sometimes it comes as a closed door, sometimes as a lost connection, sometimes as confusion that forces you to pause. But underneath it all, divine wisdom is operating like an unseen firewall, stopping what was sent to sabotage your future. That's why discernment is your greatest treasure. The more you grow in faith, the more sensitive you become to that quiet inner warning that whispers, "Don't go there. Don't touch that. Don't trust this." Those whispers are not fear, they are guidance. They are the language of divine guardianship. Do not ignore the uneasy stirring in your spirit. That discomfort is often the Holy Spirit standing between you and destruction. You are not called to understand every detail. You are called to obey the warnings. And when everything in you cries out, "But this looks right," pause and remember, even the serpent in Eden looked wise before he spoke. You cannot judge by appearance. You must discern by spirit. So, chosen one, thank God for every hidden danger you never saw. Thank him for every trap that failed, every betrayal that was exposed before it could strike, every door that locked before the wrong thing walked in. You may never know how many times heaven intervened for you, but one day, when you stand on the other side of your promise, you will see clearly. You'll realize that the walls you hated were the wings that covered you. The delays that frustrated you were the shields that preserved you. The door was never the prize, the protection was. Chosen one. The waiting season often feels like the hardest test of all. You've done everything right, believed, prayed, obeyed, and yet the door still hasn't opened. The silence stretches, the delay lingers, and your heart begins to ache under the weight of time. You whisper, "Lord, did you forget me?" But heaven has not forgotten you. It's preparing you. The waiting room of God is not a place of punishment, it's a place of purification. You are not being delayed because you are disqualified. You are being delayed because you are destined. Destiny requires development, and development takes time. Before God gives you what you've asked for, He shapes you into someone who can carry it without being crushed by it. You see, waiting is not passive. It's warfare. Every day you remain faithful despite not seeing results. You're waging war against doubt. Every time you choose patience over panic, you're declaring victory over fear. Waiting is the silent battlefield where faith proves itself real. And in that battlefield, heaven watches closely every tear, every prayer. Every breath of endurance is counted. Your stillness is not silence to God. It's the sound of surrender echoing through eternity, declaring that you trust His unseen hand more than your visible struggle. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 25, "The Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him." This verse is a reminder that waiting is not wasted time, it's sacred time. God's goodness is not revealed in speed, but in substance. What He is forming in you right now is stronger than anything you could rush into. While you wait, He is perfecting the details you cannot yet see. Chosen one. God is not ignoring your prayers. He's weaving your promise in hidden places. Just as gold must be refined in fire before it shines, your faith must endure silence before it's proven true. You are not being delayed, you're being deepened. Think of Noah. He built for decades without a drop of rain. Think of Abraham, waiting for a son long after his strength had faded. Think of David, anointed king, yet sent back to the fields. Each of them endured delay, but none were denied. Their waiting was a womb for greatness. So is yours. The longer the preparation, the heavier the promise. You are not forgotten, you are being trusted. God trusts you enough to take you through the process that others would quit in. He knows that your endurance will one day feed nations. When you wait with faith, you transform waiting into worship. You begin to see that each day of silence is another layer of strength being added to your spirit. The impatience that once made you restless becomes the very soil where gratitude grows. You stop asking, "When will it happen?" and start whispering, "Thank you for what you're building in me while I wait." You may not see movement, but heaven is in motion. Angels are aligning outcomes. Doors are being built. Hearts are being softened. And your steps are being ordered. The promise hasn't been cancelled, it's being choreographed. Chosen one. If God rushed what He's preparing, it wouldn't fit your future. That's why He slows the process to make sure the blessing matches your maturity. What you think is a delay is actually divine synchronization. And when the time comes, when the waiting ends, and the door swings open, you won't have to question if it's the right one. You'll know, because it will open effortlessly. Peace will fill the space where anxiety once lived. So hold steady in the waiting. Breathe in the stillness. Let patience perfect its work in you. The waiting room is not your prison, it's your training ground. The silence is not empty, it's alive with divine activity. And if this word is resonating with your spirit, if you can feel hope rising again where discouragement once lived, then let your faith speak now. Type, "Still I trust," in the comments below. Those 3 words are more than affirmation, they're alignment. They tell heaven that your trust will not expire. They tell the enemy that your faith cannot be shaken by delay. You are declaring that even in the waiting, you still believe God's hand is at work, because He is. Chosen one. He always is. And when the appointed time arrives, everything that was withheld will come rushing toward you, right on time, right on purpose, and right into your waiting hands. Chosen one. Something begins to change in you when your eyes open to the truth that rejection is not a curse, it is direction. You start to look back on the doors that closed, the people who left, the prayers that seemed unanswered, and you realize heaven was not being cruel. Heaven was being careful. Every disappointment was a redirection toward destiny. When the pain was fresh, you couldn't see it. You only saw loss, confusion, unanswered questions. But now the dust has settled, and you're beginning to understand. God never abandoned you. He was guiding you. The hand that removed you from what you thought you wanted was the same hand positioning you for what you truly needed. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. Those words are not theory, they are truth written into your life. All things, not some, not a few. Every heartbreak, every delay, every door that slammed shut, they are all ingredients in a divine recipe for glory. Sometimes the oven of purpose must grow hot before the aroma of destiny begins to rise. When God rearranges your life, it can feel like chaos, but it's really choreography. Heaven moves like a grand conductor, orchestrating each note so that your story becomes a symphony of redemption. Every wrong turn you thought you made is now a harmony in the song of grace. But let's be honest, you didn't always feel this way. There were moments you screamed into the silence, moments you felt unseen. Yet, in those very moments, God was closest. He was holding the threads of your life together, weaving loss into legacy. Chosen one. Picture a tapestry from the back, tangled knots, confusing lines, colors that don't seem to belong. That's what your life looked like to you while you were in the middle of it. But when heaven turns it around, you see the pattern, the image of purpose. Every color perfectly placed. What once looked like chaos now looks like craftsmanship. That is what your rejection has been doing, shaping your revelation. The closed doors weren't removing you from your path, they were keeping you on it. God loves you too much to let your emotions lead you astray. Now, you stand stronger, wiser, and more discerning. The tears that once clouded your eyes have now washed your vision clear. You can finally see why it had to happen the way it did. The pain was not wasted, it was the price of wisdom. And while you walk forward with new understanding, remember this: you are not alone in this journey. Every word you've heard here, every revelation that stirred your heart, was not just meant to comfort you, it was meant to awaken something inside you. Messages like this are living water. They flow into dry hearts, restore what's been broken, and carry truth to those who are still wandering. When you like, share, and subscribe, you're not feeding an algorithm, you're extending a river. You're helping that water reach another thirsty soul who's standing where you once stood, confused, hurt, and wondering why God closed their door. And if your spirit feels led, if something inside you has been healed, through these words. Consider sowing a seed of gratitude. A donation is not a transaction, it's participation. It's like planting a seed in fertile soil, ensuring that others will also find this stream of light when their night is darkest. Every act of giving your like, your share, your support becomes a ripple that carries the message further. Think of it this way: a lighthouse doesn't shine for itself. It stands tall so that ships far away can find safety. When you support this message, you're helping keep that lighthouse burning. You're becoming part of the chain that lifts others out of despair into divine direction. Your presence here means something. Heaven saw your hunger and brought you to this word for a reason. So don't let it end with you. Let your light multiply. Every time you engage, every time you help this message reach further, you're saying, Lord, use me to guide another soul home. And perhaps one day, someone you've never met will stumble upon these same words and feel the same awakening you're feeling now. They will whisper through tears, "This message saved me." And it will be because you shared your light. Chosen one. The shift has begun. The way you view rejection will never be the same again. You now understand that heaven's hand has been guiding every step. The doors that closed were not losses. They were landmarks, signposts pointing you to purpose. So lift your head. Walk forward. The pain was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to define you. God's direction is hidden inside every disappointment. You are not walking away from failure. You are walking toward fulfillment. And through it all, heaven smiles not because you never fell, but because you never stopped getting back up. Chosen one. There comes a moment when the air shifts subtly at first. Then unmistakably, after a long season of silence, something begins to move. You don't have to force it, you just sense it. The same door that once refused to open now feels light under your hand. The resistance is gone. The weight has lifted. What once rejected you now recognizes you. This is the moment heaven had been preparing you for the unveiling of the new door. It appears not through striving, but through surrender. You didn't chase it. You didn't manipulate it. You didn't have to beg for it. It appeared like dawn breaking through a night you thought would never end. God's timing is not a clock, it's a compass. When you are aligned with Him, what's yours finds its way to you. This new door is not a result of your effort, it's a response to your endurance. The waiting, the pruning, the obedience, it all led to this. The new opportunity is not random, it is revelation. You'll notice something different this time. Peace. The last time, you had to push. This time, you simply step. The last time, anxiety filled your heart. This time, stillness covers you like a mantle. That's how you know this door is divine. It was written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8. I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. Those words echo in your spirit now. This new door was never meant for those who fought for power or recognition. It was designed for those who remained faithful in weakness, for those who kept believing when no one else did, who kept praying when it no longer made sense, who refused to let bitterness poison their belief. That's why this season feels different. You are walking through not just any door, but your door, the one heaven custom built for your anointing. It's not wider for comfort, it's narrower for purpose. Only what aligns with your calling can pass through it. old fears, toxic connections, and past wounds must stay behind. You can't bring baggage into breakthrough. This new door is a place of divine fit. You won't have to perform to be accepted here. You won't have to fight for room. You'll realize it was waiting for you all along. And when you step through it, everything feels strangely familiar, as if your spirit had known it before your mind did. That's because destiny recognizes its own. Every closed door before this one was a lesson. Every no you heard was God's way of preserving your energy for this yes. You've learned the rhythm of heaven, when to move, when to pause, when to let go. You no longer run ahead of grace, you walk beside it. That is maturity. When the new door opens, it won't shout for attention. It will whisper peace. The right things from God never compete with chaos. They flow quietly, naturally, unmistakably. The key that fits this door is not effort, it's alignment. You don't twist the handle, you simply touch it. And heaven unlocks it for you. The path ahead may not be easy, but it will be blessed. The storms won't vanish. But this time, you'll carry authority within them. You'll realize that the strength you gained in the waiting is the very strength you'll need for what's next. The wilderness was your training ground. This door is your graduation. And remember this truth: when God opens a door, it is not just for you, it is through you. You are not merely entering a new season, you are carrying others with you. Your obedience becomes their opportunity. Your testimony becomes their map. That's why you had to endure so much. The weight you carried was not only your own, it was generational. You were clearing the path for others who would follow behind you. Heaven trusted you with warfare so that others could walk in victory. Now, as you stand at this threshold, breathe deeply. You're not the same person who once begged for the wrong doors to open. You are stronger, wiser, humbler, and holier. You have learned to discern what is from God and what only pretends to be. You have learned that peace is your confirmation and chaos is your warning. Step through. Chosen one. Step with quiet confidence. Heaven has opened this door not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. Walk through it, not with fear, but with gratitude. The days of striving are over. The season of divine flow has begun. Chosen one. When the right door opens, something deep within you knows. There is no fear in your chest, no confusion in your mind, only peace that surpasses understanding. You've been through enough false starts to recognize the difference. This time, it doesn't feel rushed, it feels right. It doesn't demand your strength, it matches your spirit. Peace, not pressure. That is the signature of God. The door He opens will never ask you to compromise who you are to keep it. It will not drain you, manipulate you, or force you to fight for belonging. The presence of peace is heaven's confirmation that this path was prepared for you long before you arrived. And yet, it takes maturity to discern this. Many confuse excitement with anointing, noise with confirmation, emotion with revelation. But you've learned, through pain and patience, that true confirmation does not come with chaos, it comes with stillness. You have been trained to recognize divine fingerprints. The Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Colossians, chapter 3, verse 15, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Since, as members of one body you were called to peace, and be thankful." Those words are not a suggestion, they are an instruction. Peace is not just a feeling, it's a ruler. a judge that decides whether something belongs in your life. If peace leaves, that's your answer. If it remains, that's your permission. You've walked through seasons where you forced doors open, mistaking adrenaline for anointing. You've walked into places that glimmered with promise but carried unrest in your soul. And every time, heaven's silence was not absence, it was warning. God was saying, I am not in this. But this new door, this one feels different. When you pray about it, your spirit settles. When you think of walking away, something holy holds you still. That is peace, speaking louder than logic. You can rest in it, because peace is heaven's language of confirmation. Remember, chosen one. God's will is never confusing. It may be challenging, but it will always come with clarity. The enemy manipulates confusion to cloud your discernment, but God speaks through calm. His voice is never frantic. It is firm and full of love. The right door won't demand exhaustion. It will demand trust. It will require surrender, not striving. You won't need to compete, convince, or control just to walk. When something is truly from God, it aligns, it flows, it fits. There's a verse you once read and dismissed, but now it makes perfect sense. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness doesn't mean inaction, it means internal peace while God acts on your behalf. That's the essence of confirmation. The moment you stop chasing signs and start sensing peace, you've matured into divine discernment. You will know it's God when your soul stops wrestling. You will know it's God when what once scared you now strengthens you. You will know it's God when you realize the same place that used to break you now builds you. So when that confirmation settles into your spirit, don't rush to explain it to others. Not everyone can understand peace that passes understanding. They might question your calm, but you'll know it's holy. Some doors are meant to be discerned, not discussed. Chosen one. Peace is the most reliable compass you'll ever have. It won't shout. It won't sparkle. It will simply be there, like a soft pulse under your spirit, reminding you, this is the way. Walk in it. And if this message speaks to the quiet places of your heart, if you can feel the confirmation rising like gentle light, then pause for a moment and respond to heaven with a simple act of faith. Type 222 inches, the comments below. That number is more than a symbol. It represents divine alignment and spiritual balance. It is your declaration that you choose peace over panic, purpose over pressure. When you type it, you are telling heaven, I will follow where peace leads. No, it's your way of saying, Lord, I hear you. I recognize your confirmation. I will not force doors or chase signs. I will walk in your timing. No, peace is your permission. Chosen one. Don't doubt it. Don't second guess it. Let it guide your steps, your choices, and your voice. This is the moment where discernment becomes destiny. You are no longer led by emotion. You are led by peace. And that peace, pure, quiet, powerful, is the sound of heaven saying, yes, I've chosen one. There is a different posture in you now, calm, steady, grounded. You are no longer chasing doors or doubting your direction. You have learned to recognize heaven's rhythm, and you move in step with it. The days of desperation have given way to discernment. You no longer run ahead of grace. you walk with it. This time, as you step through the right door, everything feels balanced. There's no need to prove yourself or rush the process. The lessons of waiting have matured your soul. You walk carefully, not fearfully, confident that you are in sync with divine purpose. Each step feels ordained. You feel heaven's quiet approval surrounding you, not in thunder or spectacle, but in still assurance. That's how divine alignment works. It's not dramatic. It's deliberate. It's not loud, but it's lasting. For we are reminded in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." Those words are the anthem of your journey. Faith is your compass now. You no longer need to see the entire map. You only need to trust the next step. The light of obedience always shines just far enough for you to move forward, one decision at a time. You see, the walk through the right door isn't just about opportunity, it's about awareness. You begin to see that this path isn't a reward for surviving the past. It's a continuation of your preparation. The same God who led you through valleys is now guiding you up the mountain. The terrain has changed, but His presence has not. Walking by faith means you may not always understand, but you no longer panic when you don't. You've learned to replace worry with worship, fear with focus, and doubt with quiet trust. You understand now that obedience is not always comfortable, but it is always correct. There are still moments when uncertainty whispers, when old fears try to creep back in, but this time, they do not dominate you. You've seen too much of God's faithfulness to be moved by shadows. You know that faith is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep walking despite it. As you move forward, the air feels lighter. The space around you shifts. The right door doesn't lead to ease, it leads to evolution. God will still stretch you, but now the stretching feels sacred, not punishing. You understand that growth and grace often travel together. The path ahead may twist, but each turn reveals more of God's intention. You begin to see that this door is not the destination, it's the beginning of a deeper journey. Every promise fulfilled is a new platform for purpose. You start to notice divine patterns forming. People appear at the right time. Resources flow in ways you never imagined. And favor seems to follow you like a shadow. You realize that none of this is coincidence, it's covenant. This is what happens when your obedience aligns with heaven's order. But even in this season of favor, humility becomes your guardrail. You remember the wilderness and the nights of tears, and you refuse to forget who sustained you. Gratitude becomes your language. You don't boast about what's opening, you bless the one who opened it. Walking through the right door doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It means you now have the perspective to see purpose in imperfection. You stop chasing control because you've learned that surrender accomplishes what striving never could. Your journey becomes quieter, but more powerful. People may not understand why you no longer rush or compete, but you know why. You've learned that rushing breaks rhythm, and rhythm is everything. When you move in God's timing, even delays dance to your favor. Each day, you wake with new sensitivity to divine movement. You notice how peace nudges you, how conviction redirects you, how grace steadies you. You've entered a season of spiritual maturity where discernment leads and obedience follows naturally. Chosen one. This is the beauty of walking through the right door. You don't have to force what flows. The right door opens to purpose, but it also opens to partnership with heaven, with yourself, with peace. You are no longer the same person who once begged for closed doors to open. You are the person who thanks God for every no that protected you and every yes that shaped you. And as you continue walking, something sacred happens. You stop fearing the future. You realize that no matter what lies ahead, the same God who opened this door will guide you through every one that follows. So walk forward, not hurried, not hesitant, but holy. Every step you take is a sentence in the story. Heaven is still writing. You are not lost, you are led. You are not uncertain, you are unfolding. The right door wasn't just an entrance, it was an awakening. Chosen one. Obedience always brings blessing, though it rarely looks the way you expect. The reward for trusting God's hand is not just what you receive, it's who you become. There is a quiet power that begins to rest on you after surrender. The storms that once shook you now only test your roots, and you find that you are stronger than you realized. The blessings that follow obedience are not always visible at first. They begin in the unseen peace that returns to your heart, clarity that settles over your mind, and strength that surprises you when the next challenge arises. Heaven's rewards are not always wrapped in gold. Sometimes they arrive as grace, calm, or revelation. The prophet Isaiah once wrote in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 19, "If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land." Obedience doesn't remove pain, it redeems it. Every act of trust becomes a seed, and God never forgets the seeds sown in faith. You may not see the harvest immediately, but it is coming, quietly, beneath the surface. The soil of your obedience is alive with movement. Sometimes, the greatest blessings are invisible to others, but undeniable to you. A mind finally at peace, a heart no longer tormented by confusion, a spirit that feels light even in a heavy world. These are the signs of a soul in harmony with heaven. You begin to understand that the true blessing of obedience is not what God gives, it's the intimacy He restores. When you choose His way over your own, you step into rhythm with eternity. Your prayers become conversations instead of requests. Your worship becomes rest instead of effort. You stop chasing signs and start living as one. The fruit of obedience ripens slowly. You might wake one morning and realize that the things that once scared you now strengthen you. The doubts that once held you no longer have power. You'll notice divine ease entering your life, not because it's easier, but because you've stopped resisting the flow of God's will. There is beauty in this posture of surrender. It doesn't mean you are weak, it means you've finally discovered where real strength comes from. You are no longer powered by pride or panic, you are powered by peace. Chosen one. When you live in obedience, heaven begins to trust you with more. Doors open not because you demand them to, but because you're ready to handle what's behind them. Influence finds you because you've proven you won't misuse it. Blessings chase you because you've stopped chasing them. This is the holy irony of obedience. What you surrender never truly leaves you. It returns, transformed and multiplied. The dreams you gave up in tears come back, refined. The desires you buried under disappointment rise again with clarity. God never wastes what you release to Him. And as blessings unfold, gratitude begins to flow from you naturally. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start whispering, "Thank you." You see His fingerprints in every detail, the timing, the protection, the redirection. You realize that obedience was never about control. It was about cooperation with divine purpose. Through every season, you start to understand that obedience is less about rule and more about relationship. It's the language of trust between Creator and creation. When you say yes to Him, you're not just following commands, you're echoing heaven's harmony. Obedience changes how you carry yourself. There's a glow to a person who walks in alignment. Peace becomes their fragrance. Wisdom becomes their posture. Others may not understand it, but they feel it, the presence that comes from a life yielded to divine order. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. The fruit speaks for itself. Your peace is your proof. Your stability is your testimony. The same people who once doubted you will wonder how you've changed so completely. And your answer will be simple. I stopped fighting God, and I started following Him. Now, and from that moment, everything began to bloom. Obedience does not end your trials, but it transforms them into triumphs. Each step of surrender carves a deeper trust, and every trust becomes a testimony. This is the blessing beyond obedience, not comfort, but communion, not luxury, but lasting joy. The soil of obedience will always yield abundance in its time. Keep your heart tender and your faith steady. The fruit is forming, the blessing is building, and heaven's hand is still guiding every detail. You have chosen well, chosen one. You have obeyed, and now the land before you is fertile. Walk in it with gratitude. The good you are about to taste is the harvest of your surrender. Chosen one. Every step of your journey has brought you here to this moment of realization. You look back now and see the divine fingerprints that marked your story from the beginning. The heartbreaks, the delays, the redirections, they weren't random events. They were sacred threads in a tapestry of transformation. You have walked through fire, and yet you carry no smoke. You have endured storms, but somehow you shine brighter than ever before. This is the testimony of the chosen. The story that was once soaked in tears now glimmers with grace. You are living proof that God's no was never rejection. It was redirection toward revelation. What broke you yesterday now builds you today. What wounded you then now becomes the very weapon that tears down darkness in others. The Book of Revelation, Chapter 12. Versi 11 declaris, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. That is you, chosen one. You overcame not by perfection, not by power, but by perseverance. Your scars have become scriptures. Your wounds have become words that heal. Every battle you survived turned into a sermon written by heaven itself. Your life is now a living testimony. You are no longer a survivor. You are a storyteller of grace. The enemy thought he could silence you, but he didn't realize that every attack was pushing you closer to your anointing. He thought the fire would consume you, but it refined you. He thought the darkness would bury you, but it built you. Now your voice carries authority because it comes from experience. When you speak, others listen, not because you are loud, but because you are real. They can feel the truth in your tone. You've walked through what they're walking through. You've cried the same tears they cry. And now, your very existence becomes a message. If God did it for me, He can do it for you. Liu, that is why your story must be shared. You are a lighthouse, and your light was not meant to stay hidden. When you share your journey, you become a guide for someone else, still lost in the storm. Your pain becomes their compass. Your testimony becomes their map out of despair. Beloved, if these words have touched your heart, if you feel seen, understood, and strengthened, then I ask something simple and sincere. Share this light. When you like, comment, or share, you're not feeding a number, you're feeding a soul. You're allowing this message to travel to someone who might be one decision away from giving up. You're helping carry hope to places you may never visit, to hearts you may never meet. And if you feel led, if the Spirit stirs within you to go beyond listening, consider sowing a seed of gratitude. It doesn't matter how small. Think of it as placing a single drop of oil in the lamp that keeps this light burning for others. Every donation, every act of support is a quiet thank you to God for the healing you've received. It's a way of saying, Lord, use me to keep the flame alive. No, this isn't about money, it's about meaning, about continuing the mission, about turning your testimony into transformation for others. Every share becomes a ripple that can touch another shore. Every word of encouragement in the comments becomes a lifeline to someone drowning in doubt. So, don't hold back your light. Chosen one, the world needs your story. Someone right now is waiting for the proof that redemption is real. And that proof is you. When you write in the comments, you are joining a chorus of survivors, each one echoing hope into the void. When you subscribe, you are connecting with a family of faith, a circle of chosen ones who understand what it means to rise again. You are not just a listener, you are part of this living movement of light. And, through your simple actions, heaven continues its work. Think of it like planting trees in a forest you may never walk through. You may never see every life that's touched. But the shade of your obedience will comfort many. So let your story shine. Let it flow through every click, every share, every whisper of faith. Because every time you do, someone finds their way back to hope. Chosen one, your testimony is no longer your secret, it's your ministry. You have become a beacon of resilience, a vessel of mercy, a carrier of divine light. Let heaven use your voice, your story, your faith, and never forget, you overcame. And now you help others overcome too. Chosen one. When the dust of battle settles and the echoes of struggle fade into silence, what remains is something sacred clarity. You begin to see why you had to pass through the fires, why the doors stayed shut, and why the waiting was so long. The pain you once despised has now become the foundation of your peace. The same valley that made you weep has turned into the garden where wisdom blooms. You are standing now in the aftermath of surrender, a place few reach. Because most give up before this point. But you stayed. You endured. And now, heaven is beginning to reveal what all of it was for. The breaking was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to rebuild you stronger, softer, wiser. This is the season of the crown after closure. The reward for your perseverance is not a spotlight, not applause, but a steady radiance that shines quietly from within. The noise that once filled your mind has been replaced with stillness, and that stillness has become your strength. As was spoken in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 4, and when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away. Those words reach through time and wrap themselves around your soul. They remind you that everything you endured was not in vain. The tears, the battles, the silent prayers, all of them have been seen, counted, and treasured. The glory that rests upon you now is not temporary, it's eternal. It's not loud, it's luminous. The crown is not made of metal or jewels, it is forged from your endurance. It is built from every yes you gave to God when it hurt to obey. It gleams with the light of every moment you trusted His will more than your own understanding. It rests not on your head, but on your heart. You see, crowns in heaven do not weigh you down, they lift you. They are not for showing off, they are for showing grace. Every trial you overcame polished your faith until it could reflect divine light. Every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, another piece of that crown was formed. And now, without even realizing it, you wear it. You don't need validation to confirm it, because peace has already testified on your behalf. The proof is in your presence. You walk differently now, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. You speak with a gentler authority, the kind that doesn't demand attention, but naturally draws it. That's what it means to walk crowned. This crown marks you not as someone who never fell, but as someone who kept rising. It marks you as one who walked through shadows, yet carried light. It marks you as one who loved when it was easier to hate, who believed when it was safer to doubt. The glory resting upon you is not the absence of pain, it's the evidence of redemption. When heaven crowns you, it does so quietly. There's no trumpet sound, no grand stage. It happens in the small moments, the first deep breath after grief, the smile that returns after heartbreak, the peace that settles where chaos once lived. These are the coronation moments of the soul, and though you may not see it, the world around you feels it. People sense something different in your atmosphere. They can't explain it, but they feel peace when you enter a room. That is the fragrance of grace, the weight of divine glory, resting gently upon a heart that has learned to trust. This is what the long road was, not for trophies, not for titles, but for transformation. Heaven didn't just want to change your situation, it wanted to change you. The one who began this journey in fear has become a pillar of faith. The one who once questioned every silence now walks calmly through the unknown. And this peace, this clarity, this quiet confidence is your crown. It is the mark of the chosen, the evidence that every no, every delay, every disappointment was crafting something eternal. You no longer fight for significance because you've found substance. You no longer chase answers because you've learned to trust the author. And that is what it truly means to wear the crown of glory, not one that dazzles the eyes, but one that steadies the soul. So breathe deeply. Chosen one, the storms have done their work. The ashes have become beauty. The breaking has become blessing. You have not just survived, you have ascended. You are crowned now, not with pride, but with peace. Chosen one. Now that the journey has reached this sacred horizon, the truth finally settles deep within your spirit. You were never rejected, you were protected. Every closed door, every denied request, every silent night was a shield in disguise. Heaven was not withholding blessings from you, it was guarding you from burdens that looked like blessings. The places you could not enter were the very places that would have endangered your peace. When God blocks a door, He is not punishing you, He is preserving what He planted inside you. There were seasons when you wept over opportunities lost, not realizing those losses were heaven's way of saving you. You cried because you saw the door. God smiled because he saw what was behind it. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Those ancient words are not just scripture. They are the summary of your entire story. You spent years fighting battles you thought were yours, only to learn that victory was never achieved by striving, but by surrender. It was in your stillness that God fought hardest for you. While you mourned what was closing, heaven was preparing what was coming. You once thought protection looked like open doors and answered prayers, but now you understand. It often comes wrapped in silence and delay. God's protection doesn't always announce itself with thunder. Sometimes it hides in disappointment. He allowed certain people to walk away because their presence would have corrupted your purpose. He withheld certain blessings because their weight would have crushed your character. The door that didn't open was not your rejection letter, it was your rescue notice. You were saved from counterfeit peace, from disguised chaos, from entanglements that would have drained your spirit dry. Heaven did not deny you, it delivered you. Look closely at your story, and you'll see the evidence of divine defense everywhere. The job that didn't call you back saved your creativity. The relationship that fell apart preserved your purity. The plan that failed protected your purpose. Every no was a wall built by God's hands around the garden of your destiny. And now, standing where you are, you can finally thank Him for every door that stayed shut. Because if they had opened, you wouldn't have had room for what's now unfolding. You wouldn't have grown into this version of yourself, the version marked by wisdom, anchored by peace, and clothed in quiet strength. You are living proof that protection can look like rejection for a season. But when the season changes, you realize how divine the disguise truly was. You begin to see that the pain of being kept out was mercy, keeping you in alignment. There is a softness in your strength now. You don't chase what leaves, and you don't fear what closes. You've learned that what's meant for you will not require force. You trust the flow of grace more than the noise of opportunity. You know now that divine timing never arrives through struggle, it arrives through surrender. You have grown into a rare peace, one that cannot be shaken by unanswered questions. You understand that every battle you faced refined your discernment. Every silence deepened your trust. Every loss repositioned your life. Nothing was wasted. And in this revelation, something holy happens. You stop questioning God's no and start worshiping Him for it. You stop replaying what left and begin rejoicing for what stayed. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start whispering, "Thank you." No, because now you see it clearly. You were never abandoned. You were hidden. You were never forgotten. You were fortified. Heaven wasn't silent because it was empty. It was silent because it was busy, building what you could not yet handle. Chosen one. This is the divine paradox of protection. You only recognize it once. You've been rescued. The tears you cried for what didn't happen have become the testimony of what did. The waiting that once broke your heart has become the womb that birthed your wisdom. The no you resisted has become the thank you now repeat in awe. And as the chapter closes, you realize the beauty of this truth. Every blocked door was an act of love. Every divine delay was a shield. You were never being punished. You were being preserved. Now peace reigns where pain once ruled. Clarity shines where confusion once clouded. You no longer need to understand every reason. You've learned to rest in the revelation that God's protection is perfect. Even when it feels painful, you are not just a survivor of closed doors, you are the evidence that divine protection is real. You are proof that what God blocks, He also blesses in His time, and that every still moment was heaven fighting for you. Chosen one. You've walked through every chapter, every silence, every no, every divine turn, and you've reached the place of revelation. You now know God never blocked a door to break you. He blocked it to bless you in ways you couldn't yet understand. You are no longer wandering in confusion. You are standing in clarity. Every tear has meaning, and every delay has direction. If these words have found a home in your spirit, let them stay there. Let them grow roots. Let them remind you, whenever life closes another door, that it's not rejection, it's redirection. You are not unlucky. You are under divine protection. And if this journey has spoken to you, if you've seen pieces of your story mirrored in these lines, then take a moment to respond from your heart. Share this message not as promotion, but as purpose. You never know whose night will turn into morning because of one word you pass along. When you like or comment, you're not just reacting, you're connecting. You're letting heaven know that the message reached its mark. Leave your reflection below. Tell what this spoke to you, or simply write a few words of gratitude. Your voice could be the echo that strengthens someone else's faith. And if you found light here, subscribe. Stay close. Let this space continue to remind you of who you are. Chosen, protected, unstoppable. Every video, every message, every moment shared is a bridge carrying hope across the noise of the world. So don't just listen, live it. Carry this truth with you wherever you go. God's no was never rejection. It was always love in disguise. And now that you see it, you'll never see a closed door the same way again.